All right, looks like we're live. Hi. Welcome back to the stream. My name is Gabriel Quinn, and I am an illustrator and a visual development concept artist. I do mostly characters and stuff, working in animation and games. And yeah, today we're just going to be doing the usual, just having some fun on stream, just doing some drawing and having a great time. Today we're working on, got my lovely thumbnail here. Today we're working on this character, which I developed over the past few streams alongside his friend. So we kind of have this sort of like dynamic trio element here with this master chef, his giant cauldron, and his dragon friend who helps him cook. And we did a little bit of set design here, looking at what it could possibly look like for him to like inhabit his kitchen space, I guess, you know, and like cool little soot streaks from the dragon breathing fire from his little nook. And then later on when we were designing, we came to, his name was Xavier because it's like his nickname is Egg, so it's like Egg Xavier. Which, I don't know, it seemed really funny at the time, so we're just kind of rolling with it. Xavier because it's Egg and Benny, so it's Eggs Benny. His nickname is Egg. But we have a little sleepy dragon friend here, but he shoots fire when the time is needed. And kind of here he is sort of with one ideation of color that we have. So yeah, I was thinking today we would kind of continue this design, maybe refine a little bit more, and just continue pushing it on. So now that we have everything sort of like wrapped up and stuff, let's go ahead and do what we usually do. We'll throw the link up on YouTube, and we'll throw the link up on Instagram. See who wants to join today. So let's make that happen. I'm not super well rested today, so forgive any of my ums and ahs. Okay, let's do this thing. Okay. Yeah, and feel free to ask any questions in the chat that you have about design, about character design, or anything like that. It's totally free to do so. So I'm just going to make a quick announcement for any viewers on IG who want to hop in and join so that, you know, people who want to ask questions can ask questions. Cool. Yeah, I hope everyone's doing well in life and all that good stuff. Times are getting hard these days, man. Just got to keep drawing, I guess. That's my strategy. Just keep drawing and everything will work out, right? Cool. So we'll chuck this up here. Live. You got to get hype with the all caps on Instagram, otherwise people aren't super into it. But yeah, man, I've just been having so much fun with the streams recently. I never thought I'd have this fun streaming, so it's just been an absolute blast, absolute privilege. We also explored the idea of maybe the like layer or like the kind of area that the dragon lives in, like used to be a dragon prison kind of deal. Still exploring that idea, not like 100% certain on it, but you know, it's just kind of fun for now. And this is a reminder for anyone watching this like playback. Feel free to turn on notifications or like the video or anything like that if you want to catch future streams. We just kind of design and have fun. But yeah, we were imagining maybe the dragon's like, you know, mother dragon was held in this prison on the last stream with our good friend Misei Seki. We were developing some kind of story ideas for it, which was really fun to do. And then we were discussing other story moments with Luke Amerlan, a very good friend of mine. He's a pretty cool guy. So we were figuring out like what was going on in the world and whatnot. But yeah. So one thing that we were kind of like figuring out in some of the early sketches was that the dragon actually has these like kind of more vertical scales, made a point to really focus on that. And I'm wondering if in the newest iteration, that's like an element that we lost. Like, what if for our wonderful dragon friend, we were thinking about doing some of that same kind of scaling, and how that would maybe like splay out as it gets to the feathery undercarriage that we are exploring, what that could look like. That could be a really interesting sort of shape exploration on what that could maybe look like as it cascades around the arms as well. Or maybe it also folds into, like it just kind of comes in over almost like a shawl, right? Because normally you sort of see the scales kind of extending down and whatnot. So we had a lot of stream freezes the past few times, and it was very frustrating. But I did a ton of research, and I think I figured out what the issue was in terms of like picking the correct sources and stuff. So hopefully there's no content stream freezing. It doesn't look like there is right now. So I think we'll be good. I think we'll definitely be good for sure. But yeah, the energy here feels interesting, even just adding in these little scaly guys, you know? We would imply most of this by like light, most likely, you know, towards the end when we're kind of figuring it out. But for now, we're just kind of sketching on top, sort of seeing how it feels. If it feels right, if it feels wrong, like, you know. In exploration, there is no right and wrong, right? Wrong? Right, wrong? Cool. Yeah, so let's make sure everything's up so people can find it. Cool. Man, it's been very interesting following all the writers' strike stuff. It's been pretty trippy. Oh, sweet. We've got someone in the chat. I'm just seeing this now. Burmy Squared. Greetings, man. Love your artwork. How did you find art school? Planning to check out some places in the UK. Any recommendations? What to look for? That's a great question. Burmy Squared. I'm assuming you're from Bermuda, which is awesome. Another Bermudian in the chat. Let's go. More Bermudian artists in the world, please. We love it. We love Bermudian artists. Yeah, man. So I went to school, figuring out art school. Oh, you know, I guess a little bit of lore. Like, for me, I missed 4 years of school in my life. Like, I was homeschooled, you know, from ages 10 to 14. And a lot of what I did was kind of just draw in my sketchbook. And, you know, I got into some interesting stuff, but I missed a kind of big block of education for a minute there. So it was very challenging for me to catch up later on when I got back in. So I had kind of written off university as an option for myself, let alone art school. I was like, oh, gosh, I'm not going to do that. So after high school, you know, I mean, I put in some lackluster applications. Like, I really didn't care, and I didn't really want to get in. I think I spent, you know, a total of 2 hours applying to universities and looking for universities. Like, it was something I did to fulfill a school criteria when I was in boarding school. So, you know, I kind of took a year to evaluate my life and what I wanted out of my life. And turns out I did want to go to school. And picking an art school was interesting. At the time, I didn't know the animation industry was a thing like it was, you know. And my experience with concept art and that whole world was super jarring. Like, this was early days of the internet. So, you know, if you like hop on a forum or something, like people will just be verbally abusive to you. You know, they'll just tell you suck, and they'll tell you that you should quit art and stuff. So for me, like, that actually was very discouraging for me early on. So picking an art school was kind of like, I didn't really have any joy around the animation industry at that time. Like, I had no connection to it. So for school, I studied illustration, and I applied to one school, and I got into that school, and that was Norwich University of the Arts in the UK. Which for me was an ideal school. It was a perfect school. It was the exact right size I wanted. It had fantastic tutors, and I learned a lot there, which was fantastic. My primary focus towards my final year was in sequential art. And if it wasn't for COVID, I would have moved to London, England, and I would have become a comic artist. but because of COVID bringing me back home to Bermuda, it made me work online and introduced me to the animation industry. And so I just kind of had to make it work, and it turns out it's just the dream job, man. Being able to design characters and design worlds and stuff for stories and projects was fantastic. But for art school, that's tough, man. I mean, the UK is great. The UK has some great schools. But the school I went to, Norwich, that's a great school if you have a focus or you're really keen on finding your focus. The illustration department, I don't know how much it's changed since I've been there. It's been a few years, so I can't speak to it. I know a few of my favorite tutors have moved on to other institutions, so I can't 100% vouch. But depending on the industry you want to work in, university is not inherently a requirement. Every artist will tell you that. Every artist on YouTube will tell you don't have to go to university, but having a degree is powerful. It's not a bad thing to do. Having a degree is not bad at all. And studying art, if you can, in a meaningful way, is fantastic. Some of my absolute favorite artists went to very good art schools, and some of my favorite artists absolutely did not go to art school. So it's kind of tough, But yeah, man. I think that if you're pretty darn clear on what you want to do, you're going to benefit a lot from art school. You're going to benefit a lot. Or maybe the inverse, actually. If you're not 100% sure, then art school can, expose you to so many different things that you hadn't been exposed to. But if you really know what you want to do, I mean, for the money, you could just do mentorships, man, for sure. Okay, Burmy Squared says, yeah, I feel you. I went homeschooled straight to boarding school. There's no in between. Yeah, okay, great. I feel you, man. That's awesome. Planning to put together a Bermudian graphic novel. That's sick. Let's go. Burmy Squared. Maybe I know you, man, or woman. Bermudian artists. It's a small community. I might be back on island soon, actually, so who knows? That'd be cool. But yeah, let's see. Actually, my current gig right now is I am working on a comic pitch. So I'm developing a pitch for a graphic novel, and hopefully it gets greenlit and gets made. And, sneak peek, it does involve Bermuda. It's really cool, actually. So, hopefully I'll be able to show some of that stuff on stream. All right, let's get focused back into this drawing here. Let's see what we got. Okay. So in arranging this page, we want to think about a few elements here. We have his little hidey hole. We have him spitting fire, which I love. I love that. I love these shapes. Bam. And then we have the actual subject itself, right? The question is, do we want to show maybe another side of this character? Maybe we want to do it with an open mouth, perhaps. How strange do we want this creature to be, Yeah. Man, this reminds me just how much I love drawing. I just love drawing. Give him little buck teeth because you kind of have to because he's cute. But yeah, happy to answer any questions about anything, really. If you have any design questions, I'd be happy to answer design questions. Even comic questions. I'll answer some comic questions if anyone has any too. I love comics. I wrote my dissertation on sequential art and comics. I love it. It's my favorite medium, man. It's really cool. It's magical. I'm thinking he's got one of those cat yawns where the tongue really curls. Or I guess dogs do that too. We want it to feel quite puppy-esque, right? With little teeth at the bottom. We can make it a little pointy. I mean, it is a fire-breathing dragon. Fire-breathing dragons, they're allowed to be a little bit pointy, But yeah, we want to have some nice little shapies here, but nothing that would feel too evil. But we'd also want it to feel a little snappy, a little alligator-y or something, Big yawn. Big yawn from our friend. The big snout. Big cute snout. We love a big cute snout. Look at that. Look at these shapes. He's so cute. He, she. They, them. Arnold's back. Let's go, Arnold. In your opinion, how often should someone be updating their portfolio? Gosh, yeah, like I'm the best guy for portfolio. My goodness. Well, my portfolio is a mess right now. But that's actually why I'm streaming, because I need new portfolio pieces, believe it or not. So let's see. Let's pull up some portfolio stuff if we can. Yeah, I'll do my best not to dox myself, but no promises. Absolutely no promises here. I just might dox myself. I'm allowed. I can do what I want. Cool. So yeah, so let's see here. So I have mine set up in kind of like I use like a website that makes it very easy. But essentially all I have is just all my work like stacked pretty close together. Like it's just kind of everything all at once. You know, in my experience, when people are looking for artists and when they're looking to hire for any particular project, they essentially just like when they look at someone's work, also this is kind of on like a scaled screen or something. So, you know, usually on like a phone, it's actually really nice how it scrolls and stuff. But usually links just get like tossed into chat. People just click and open them, do like one scroll, and then they click off. They're like, no, yes, no. Like it's that fast. So like, you know, I think in terms of updating your portfolio, if you have updated your skills, which doesn't mean you've updated your like, whatchamacallit, your like practical skill, like your actual technical skills, but you've maybe even improved your ideation, like your ideas are better now, then that's a good time to update your portfolio with a new piece where you're showing your process, like your process is visible and powerful. Like one thing that I actually don't have on my portfolio in a strong way is my process very clearly shown. Like it's a lot of kind of just sort of finished-ish work. Like I'll show the sketches, right? Like I'll show kind of like initial ideas and stuff that I had for the characters, but in large part, you know, I am just kind of uploading a bunch of finished stuff really, for some of the most recent kind of young Thomas, Uncle Lawrence guys. But yeah, so portfolio, man, I've heard the rule every 3 months you should update your portfolio. I think that's like a great place to start, like a minimum. That's like a great minimum. But yeah, we got some more homies. We got SF, welcome back. And Ash, what's up, Ash? Welcome to the stream. We're doing some continuation on this design that we developed yesterday. We chucked some color down, and now we're doing some little expression guys. So ideally, if you're doing character, you've got a pretty good handle on expression. That's like a huge selling point, because a character is not a drawing of a character. A character is a character. So you got to be able to show the breadth of that character, how the character looks when they're upset, when they're happy, when they're whatever, their posture, how flexible they are, all these things, they really matter. Like what actions the character is doing. You can read a lot about a character through what actions they're doing. But yeah, we're doing a pretty simple drawing here. We're doing kind of like a yawn sort of shape. On the topic of art school and portfolio, what do you have to put in your portfolio for art school? Like what subject or skills or story should you add? So look, oh gosh, we're doing an art school stream today apparently, which is great. So schools usually have a portfolio guide, what you should include in your portfolio, like what the school is wanting to see. Every single school is different. If you're going for illustration, it's different. Fine art, it's different. If you're applying to animation schools for like Viz Dev, because like I didn't know you could actually study this stuff in university, so I kind of wish I knew. But yeah, like those things, they'll kind of let you know what you really need to include, to be honest. Yeah, let's go. Let's see here. Flipping canvas always helps with the forms on expressions. You can like check where you're incorrect, where you are correct. Always good to check your forms for sure. So it looks like we're okay, actually. We're pretty good. Okay, Arnold writes, so say you take an online class. Would you update your portfolio with stuff you did for the class, or would you make an entirely new project based off of what you learned in the class? Okay, that's a tough question. If the work that you produced in the class was like really good and like usable and you actually knew it was going to hold up in the industry, then completely you can use anything you make for whatever. If it's for classes, for whatever. However, usually, or not usually, but sometimes when taking classes, like it is good to do more work based on what you've learned, simply just to crystallize and solidify the knowledge and apply it in a new way. Like you've had a good go around, you've had some feedback, and now you can really hit it with your own take or your own interpretation. But again, that's like up to each individual, I suppose. Gotcha. Alina writes, what do you think about subverting classical narrative structures and going with experimental approach? Is it interesting to the readers, or is it a big no-no if the story does not read right away? Well, that's a fantastic question, a very difficult question to answer. I don't think I can answer it, but I'm going to try. So, like, traditional storytelling, subverting classical narrative structures. So like classical narrative structure, I mean, that could mean many things, but for me, it reads kind of like, you're talking about kind of like archetypal things. And if we're talking about archetypal things, then archetypes are powerful and they're incredible. And even when you recontextualize them and put them in a new setting, they always like read strongly and you can always lean on them. Like in certain stories, like there's a love interest, like that's, a form of like a classical narrative structure, that there is a love interest. And if you subvert that, it's kind of like, if you're subverting it for a purpose, and if the purpose has a payoff, like what are you aiming, what's your aim for the audience to, like, what's the gem that the audience is going to come away with out of your subversion? Because subverting is powerful if it's done well. In terms of like, when talking about like big no-no, it's like anything, man. If you break any rule, people could say like, oh, that's a big no-no. Like, don't do this, don't do that. This is a big no-no. That's a big no-no. Nobody knows anything. There's no rules to this. There's absolutely no rules. A good book to own is, I might have it. It's around here somewhere. It's Story by Robert McKee. That's a good book to know. Oh, we got Michael. Michael says, what's up, my guy? I've got meetings, but I've got your stream on in the background, and I'll come hang after meetings. Let's go. Yeah, but I think the important thing that you were touching on, Alina, in your question was that with subverting narratives, like, is it a big no-no if the story does not read right away? Like, for the story to read, you don't need the story to read right away. You can set up, so for instance, you can set up a payoff or create suspense or foreshadowing very efficiently and very quickly early on. And you don't need a traditional or classical narrative structure to do that. You can do that by any means necessary. But if the story doesn't read right away, I would be more focused on what's your strategy and what's your plan to assure that the viewer is hooked with the purpose that they are going to come away with the gem that you want them to come away with, like, or like there's some kind of question that the character is asking that the audience wants answered. Even if it's a vague question, the question is interesting enough. Like, what is the interesting question? So if you're subverting love, it's like maybe the hook is that the character meets someone, but you subvert it by they don't end up together, or something happens and blah, blah, blah. Or it turns out that, whatever. You know what I mean? Like you can subvert it later on, but like the hook, I think. You want the themes to read, I feel, maybe. There's a lot, man. There's a lot going on with the narrative, which is why I love it so much, man. I do my best to only take jobs that have really strong narrative focus. Also, I'm totally noodling on this expression. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our little cave guy. Where is he? He's down here. Okay, we're going to stick it in a folder. We're going to group it. And we're just going to let it be for now because we need more space, I feel. What is this? What is this thing? Okay, we found it. Cool. We got a question from Earth. Dude, I love the name Earth. That's sick. I'm sure you guys know the Instagram account Earth's World. It's a great Instagram account. But the caption is just, yes, my name is Earth. It's just kind of funny. Okay, so let's see what we got here. We got eye shape, cheek shape. That's what we're doing. So we have eye shape here and then cheek shape. We don't have to worry too much about it. And it folds back. So really it should be like going behind the eye, this opening. There we go. See? Sometimes you just got to fix stuff. Now that's feeling correct-ish. Right? Always check your shapes. So Earth asks, do you have any references for doing these designs? So, foolishly, for everything I've done on stream so far, all the streams I've done, I have not used any reference. So this is like, honestly, a bit of a pitfall of mine. When I draw for myself and I'm not working for clients, I seldom will use reference. I really just like designing from pure shape, just having fun. But I know how much I would benefit from using reference. But right now I have no references for these guys. Just stuff in my head, visual library, shapes I like, themes I like, stuff like that. Like designing from reference is a skill that you can build just as much as drawing from imagination is a skill you can build. I know it's interesting that like there's a fixation on either end. Like people who only draw from reference wish they could draw more from imagination, and people who draw from imagination like know they should be using more reference, but they like don't for some reason because they're stubborn and they're just having a little too much fun. So this doesn't read as a yawn right now. It feels a little like, did you have an action set up for deleting selection? Okay, so the action setup, I used to have a lot of action set up. I recently reset my whole computer, so like I lost all my actions and everything. I got to reprogram everything. But essentially what I do is I have lasso tool on S for select, and I select it out, and I hit, for me, I'm on a Mac, so I hit Command X, and it just deletes everything. Like everything. So what's cool about that is if you're working on a layer that has opacity lock on it, like if you lock opacity, then you can kill it even with opacity lock on, versus if you just use regular delete, it would turn it like white usually. Did it do that? Am I crazy? Maybe I'm crazy. Oh no, delete does it too. If you erase, it turns into the undercolor. It's usually white. But I like Command X. It's like right there. So I like S to select, and right underneath it is Command X. So I use that a lot in lieu of an eraser. So, okay, we are doing we want to do a yawn. I mean, right now this is kind of like a like, or like maybe even he's breathing fire here. Like that could be interesting if he was breathing fire. Yeah, that feels pretty accurate, honestly, for breathing fire. But it wouldn't have this kind of 3/4 turn if it was open like this. We're checking our forms. It's feeling okay. We're feeling okay. Ash says vicious cycle. Yeah, the no reference vicious cycle lifestyle. We're not a fan. Maybe we're like a little bit fans, but we're not like big fans. We're casual watchers. It's like people who will watch like RuPaul's Drag Race if it's in the room, but you like don't watch it alone. We're casual fans, you know? We know about it. We you know, we're in there. Speaking of RuPaul's Drag Race, man, it's just too much for me, dude. It's too much stimulus. I can't handle it. I'm like not that much of an iPad kid yet. Oh, we've got Patricia in the chat. Welcome, Patricia. You made it for the stream. Let's go. I'm doing my little dragon guy. He's a fun little dragon guy. We love our little dragon friend. So we've got one where he's kind of breathing his fire and his little cone. I want it to be like a nice kind of like wah cone of doom. Cool. Let's check back. All right, his lower little mouth bit would be smaller, right? It would be a little bit more like that. Yeah, there we go. All right, that's feeling correct. That's feeling good to me. But if he's breathing, I feel like he would have his little eye open. Wow. His little starry big eye. Yeah, now that's kind of cute, actually. That's pretty darn cute right there. This is the real meat of the situation. So even when the dragon is breathing fire and upset, still cute. Right? We're learning a lot from Toothless, I feel. That was an incredibly successful design, Toothless. My God. The VizDev team for How to Train Your Dragon. I want to work with them. I want to work for them. Like, I just want to work for them. My God. So we've got open mouth, fire breathing. We've got kind of passive. Maybe we do a sleepy. Maybe that's how we do a yawn. It's like a half sleep yawn. Where it's like almost like kind of sort of like stoic-esque. Like what? Like what's going on? Like the kind of leading nose, like what? Nico Marlette did so many great designs. Oh my gosh, yes. And he's got Instagram now. Have you seen his Instagram? Oh. Okay, well, we gotta put it in the chat. We gotta put Nico Marlette's Instagram in the chat. We've gotta. It's simply too good. So I think you should leave our reference. So that's just a little bit of a bit there. Nico Marlette. Yeah, this guy, legend. Like actual legend, for real. This is Instagram. If anyone wants to check, it's in the live chat. Even if you're watching this back, I'm pretty sure you can access through the live chat. I love the ones he did on the edges of the page with the tiny dragons development with poses. Well, that's exactly it. You really need that. You really need the development with poses. Like that's why we do little thumbnails in the corner of like, what about this pose? What about that pose? Like you really need to know, or you would be wise to know. All right, now I'm inspired. Now that you mentioned Nico Marlette, I want to do better designs. The art books are great. I need to get the art books for How to Train Your Dragon, man. I don't have them. I'm still like moving into my apartment in New York, and it's like I'm choosing like, how much clutter do I really want to accumulate? I'm gonna have to move in like half a year. Like the turnaround for apartments in New York is insane. Well, we should do one head on anyway. So we kind of have an idea of what he kind of looks like. A little bit foreshortened, maybe. Right? We got Martin Bayes. Bayes. I don't know. I apologize to everyone. To everyone. But yo, back to you, Buster. Earth says, I always mess up the overlaps when drawing a dragon. We don't see them very often. That's funny. Yeah. Epic. Big cheekies. And in front of that, we have the little eye sockets. But gotta remember they're angled eye sockets because he's a little dragon friend. It's this and then that. It's the order of importance. There's a little smile that you'd see. Okay, we kind of gave this dragon like pretty distinct eyebrows, so we're going to roll with it. When I was a kid, I'm talking like a child, I drew so many dragons. I'm talking like, and they were all the same. This is what I did when I was a kid. This is what I did. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a fire dragon. And what I would do is every single time I would draw a rock, I would draw the dragon, and the dragon would be going Rah, every single time. Then it usually had like the flames because it was a fire dragon, right? And I would draw it in red colored pencil. And I was like, I understand form. Let's go. And it wouldn't even be with this finesse. It would literally be like boink, boink. And I would just draw this, and then it would always have like a tail flourish, where it'd be like, ooh, more flames, and then there would always be wings too, and they'd be like fire wings. I drew hundreds of dragons. There was just this, but it was like, oh, this one's a fire one. Maybe he would have a hand sometimes. And another hand. But like I would literally just draw that over and over and over. Sometimes they gave them scales or like little ping, bing, 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 bing. I didn't like know anything. Didn't know how forms contorted. It was great. We got Ayub. Ayub is in the chat. Hello again, brother. Welcome. Looks cool. Yeah, I was like obsessed when I was a kid and I would do stuff. If it was like a rock dragon, I would literally be like, or like an earth dragon, be like, okay, I'm just gonna do like a ball with like spikes on it, and this is what I would do. I would like just do this. I'd be like, oh, that's an earth dragon. Like, I loved it, man. Cool. So, okay, maybe we want. Do you guys want some shape breakdowns here? I feel like shape breakdowns would be pretty good. But I don't want to force anything. Man, I wish I knew more about dinosaurs. Where's Bugsy? Where's Bugsy when you need him? I bet he's lurking somewhere. Oh, I gotta ping that I'm live in Discord in case Bugsy doesn't know I'm live. Oh man, cool. Let's take a look at what that is. Ankylosaur. Yeah, I know exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking too. That was all that was in my head. Was like club four tail. But hey, man, it was simpler times. Simpler times being like 7 years old or like 8 in Sonoma in California, just in a cafe with my dad, just drawing dragons. You know, before everything got so gosh darn complicated. Who would have thought? Not me. That's for sure. All right, let's continue on with our dragon guy. Let's make this bigger so it's easier to work on. So let's see what we got. We have his little nose, but we want it to be like, we want to see the top but not have it be the complete be all end all. We want to make sure the face is, it's like actually facing us, because it's like pseudo in front, right? You don't see the bottom of his jaw from here. You don't see it. It like tucks under. But we'd see his little tongue. Because you got to give him a little mlem. Got to give him a mlem. This one is cute too. Oh my gosh, here we go. Now we're just Googling dinosaurs. It's time, baby. It's time. Let's go. Oh man, there's been no stream freezes. I'm so relieved. Fantastic. All right, let's take a look at what Patricia has mentioned. Oh my gosh, wait, that's so cute. Wow. Wow. That's a cute creature right there. All right, I'll drag it in. Ooh. Apologies for the yawn. No yawns allowed in here. We're wakeful artists only. Okay, I'll put a drawing in. I hope this is like accurate. If this is not accurate, I'm going to cry. Look at this thing. Look at this. What even is this creature? This is very Bobby Chew core. I'm not going to lie to you and say it's not very Bobby Chew. Okay, Earth is down for shape breakdowns. All right, let's do some shape breakdowns now that we've looked at this adorable dinosaur. So, okay. So yeah, for this character, we're really pitting a lot of concave, convex shapes against each other, which I always love doing. Let's say this expression is a little more lively. Oh, awkward. Wrong layer. No. Let's see. This is like very, feels much more cartoony than my usual work, but honestly, it's a fun break. Less grounded, but we're allowed. We're allowed to do some not so grounded things once in a while. Cool. How do you change your shortcut for lasso and delete? So you can go into your preferences and change that stuff. So like if we were to go into Photoshop preferences, I think it's in tools. No, not in tools. Should just be in keyboard shortcuts, which is somewhere in here. You can literally just type it in. Keyboard shortcuts. So like you can open it up, go in, and and anything you need, man, it's all here. So for instance, you would change it instead of application menu to tools. You have all these options. So for lasso tool, I changed it to S. You just kind of click it and set it to what you want. But I kind of want things to do the same. So I also switched the increase brush size and decrease to D and F instead of those weird brackety guys on the edge, because it's just too much work to go all the way to the edge for that, man. It's not worth it. Anybody who's trying to make you go all the way to the edge of your keyboard to change your brush size, that's a swindler. Mr. Adobe, bit of a swindler. Okay, so we have another half an hour on the schedule for the stream. I'm down to go a little bit longer depending on how we feel, but this is pretty fun. I'm having a lot of fun with this guy. So let's see what we got going on. We have this consistent straight line on this side. So we want to make sure that straight line is respected here with maybe slight curve, but not too much. No, it does imply out on that side actually, but it's not this much. This is too much. So we'll just lift it a little bit. Boop. Boop. And this is a great opportunity, for instance, if this was your kind of key shot, to sort of have like smoke framing coming out of the nostrils, you know what I mean? This is the kind of thing where you'd like really want to use the tools at your disposal. The tools at your disposal. Okay. So we got some guys going on, and we want the feathers to feel like they're appropriately splayed out. Not too crazy, but not crazy. Like hair that's kind of falling back. Maybe a couple are sort of out a little bit, but not too much. Maybe that's even too much. We want it to feel like it's creating energy going back, but again, not too much. We went somewhere half in between this, I feel. Yeah. He's so cute. What the heck? He's so cute. He's just a little guy. The dragon from Dungeons and Dragons movie, if you've seen it, it was hilarious how they animated it. Okay, says Patricia in the chat. I have not seen the new Dungeons and Dragons movie. I'm a little curious. I used to play when I was a kid, but we didn't know how to play when I was a kid. So like basically we just played Dungeons and Dragons. It was just roleplay. Like we didn't even do dice. So the DM was just like, I feel like you fail that. And it was like just funny because like there's no chance. So there's no, maybe that's why I'm not addicted to gambling. Huh. Who would have thought? Not me. Okay, so we've got our forms here a little bit. Let's flip canvas again, see where we're at on this side. So we're a little right side biasy, which, it's as per usual. This is from Alina. Do you usually do lots of explorations, variations, in developing personal projects? That's a great question. That one is a big old, it depends. Like, okay, let's bring up an old project. This is fun. You'll wish I hadn't. A lot of the stuff I haven't posted, so This will force me to post, I guess. I don't know. Let's see. Wow. This was for an IP I was developing for Sky Pirates. It was a lot of Sky Pirates. Was this the right one, or was this the right one? Well, we'll open one of these. It'll be the right. Maybe it'll be the right one. We'll find out together. Earth says, sometimes I feel like a lot of drawing is like doing subconscious geometry. Yeah, no, literally. So that's kind of exactly what it is. So for instance, for a project like Sky Pirates that I was working on, I did so many guys, which I gotta finish in post, right? Like this would be good for portfolio probably. We've got also, these guys are fun too. I further developed this guy into the Nimble Pirate Marco, which I will show as well. Cool. Let's show Marco. Where is Marco? Here he is. Yeah, so I ended up finishing that one into this guy, which was cool. A little before and after. Bing, 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 bong. So I'll kind of pick what feels really good to finish, and I'll go ahead and finish it. You know, if I have the time, man. Gosh, life gets busy. I'll tell you that much. But I'll do a bunch. So even something like this, I'll adjust and readjust, figure out the shapes, figure out what's working. Like with this one, I really wanted the shadow of the visor to really create this, you know, piercing, sharp shape going on, which I don't know if you can even see my mouse. I hope you... Oh, I don't think you can. Okay, so cursor isn't visible to you. Interesting. Okay, that's good to know. But yeah, like these kind of sharp shapes here. Ping, ping, quing. And like that is pushed off by these shapes. Everything's leading you in constantly. The mustache, the beard, all the shapes are leading you in. Everything is leading you in. So like honing in on a design that maybe has those characteristics, but then pushing them, that's really good for personal projects. This character I never finished. This is going to be like the matriarch. There's the dad, who's the big muscle guy, and the two sisters, which one of them I almost finished. I almost finished one, but honestly, I don't know why I didn't think this was enough. Like, even though it's really rough, it's pretty clear. Like, I feel like I should cut myself some slack and sometimes let the rough stuff be enough. Okay. Patricia says, the explorations you do are so expressive and has great balance of detail and movement. Always enjoy your explore pages. Thanks, Patricia. I appreciate that a lot, actually. Yeah, I love exploring. It's the best part, and it's the job, you know? I'm like sad when people decide on a design because I'm like, oh, I have to like sit and like actually draw this properly so you can give it to a 3D guy. Like, why can't I just keep coming up with ideas forever and ever and ever? It's not fair. Ayub says, I'm working on this project that's been going for 3 months or so, and I'm starting to feel pain every time I sit down to work on it. Any advice to keep myself going? Can you be more specific about the pain? A little bit? I don't want to pry, but I also want to make sure I understand completely. Like just like burnout of the same project, because I do understand that. It's tough. I also had another crew that were these like punk pirate guys. I did a ton of these guys. This was going to be their captain, the Crow Captain. And he had this like sick pet that was like a noir jaguar with like raven wings. It was going to be epic. A little stabilizing tail for flight. It's going to be sick. Ugh, I got to finish these guys, man. We got Vinny. So this guy I actually painted this guy up, and I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I pushed it. This is not the right PSD. Like, there's an actual finished one. But painting characters out, it's not the most fun thing to do. And, well, I don't know. Sometimes it's really fun, but sometimes it's not so fun. It's hard to balance, truly. Okay, let's continue. But I'll do a ton of explorations for a project. So, like, figuring out what guys I want. So, then this guy on the right, I pushed him to a finish too. So, That was the early sketch for the Commander Corvus guy as well. Cool. But yeah, for the Cannon guy, Cannon Man, I have him done here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So like here you can see I pushed it out to a close right here, which is a lot of fun. I think I showed this guy on a different stream when talking about shape design for like characters and stuff. But this guy was cool. I really like this guy. And I like the finishing style too. I'll probably just stick with that for the rest. Yeah, I just did a ton for this project, man. I did a ton. But it'll just start super janky rough and kind of turn into a guy. So this sketch turned into one of the stronger drawings I've done, which I used for a few of the key arts for the stream, which is like this guy. Much more cinematic. My character Kel, and that started with a super rough drawing. So what feels right, you can trust what feels right, and if you trust yourself to finish it well, then you can just have some great fun. Yeah, sick. You got these guys going. These guys are pretty cool. Some of them are OG designs, I think, for this crew. Yeah, this was like the first drawing I did for the Commander Corvus guy. Like, what if you had a little grappling hook thing? Like, things start off pretty generic, and then they branch off because the finished for that guy was the dope captain. Like, that's what it turned into, is this guy. So you start a bit more generic, and then you really head into a cool area. Yeah, then it became this one. Then I added the facial hair and his little friend, and boom. But all from these drawings. So you never know where an idea is going to take you. And like Vinny, these are the early sketches for Vinny, the engineer. I did some little lasso airship designs too, because these were sky pirates, like scrap metal sky pirates. So I did some of that stuff for a while, but you know, I think I was even working on some keys at one point. Like I was doing like a key of like the ship coming out and like a little tiny ship friend. That was pretty fun. But yeah, I did a lot of work. These were some of the first sketches I did, like this guy. And like I'll start like this, literally like this. I'll start, so just super rough. I'll just work my way up in detail. This was for a oh my gosh, wait. This was for a game jam I participated in, and it was called Snake Eyes, and this was the character I designed for an indie game jam. Which is like is honestly one of my best designs I've done, to be honest. I love this so much. And the villain was like Lucky Rabbit, and then like you had the shake the monkey's paw mechanic. It was all about gambling. It was like hilarious. I hate gambling. I never gamble, so it was fun to work on. But yeah, so Sky Pirates, man, I did so much ideation for this project. It's unreal. But I'll probably post all this stuff up pretty soon, maybe, hopefully, if I ever get around to it. Don't save. We're back in the world of Dragon. I love this drawing. I love the two next to each other, like the spitting fire and the kind of alive, inquisitive one. The one where he's looking straight at us, I'm not there yet with it. We got some stuff in the chat. We've got Ayub says, my mentor has some amazing explanations on how polished my portfolio should be, but no matter how hard I push it, it feels like I can't get there, and that makes me feel like I still have a long way to go. I mean, odds are you may still have a long way to go, but that doesn't mean you're never going to get there. Like, knowing what you have to do and knowing the quality that you have to produce does not mean that you can achieve it instantly, man. Painting and drawing is really hard. It's not easy at all. And the professionals who make it look easy have trained their entire lives. Even the proteges, man, they have trained their entire lives doing not much else. So it's like both like cut yourself some slack and give yourself the opportunity to practice. Because advancing towards that goal will bring a lot more meaning into your life if it is a true goal that you have for your life. We've got Iris in the chat. Come to look at wonderful dragon drawings. We've also got, Alina says amazing. Thank you, Alina. We've also got, Patricia says, are you ever afraid of the blank page? And how do you practice your imaginative drawing? I don't think I'm very afraid of the blank page, but I like to scribble, so that's part of it, I think, is why I'm not afraid of the blank page. Like, let's do it. Let's do blank page right now. So we're on a blank page. Someone type some random stuff in the chat. Scribbling, yes. Okay, let's do a scribbler. Let's definitely do a scribbler. He's like leaning on this giant pen. And he's an old man. He's old. And he leans on it, and the weight of the world is on this pen. And he tries to write beautiful calligraphy, but all that comes out are these scribbles. And this symbolizes the chaos of life. You cannot write beautifully when the weight of the world is on you. The eternal scribbler of destiny. How do we show him being really on edge here? He's like struggling. So like one leg is like not on the ground and the other one is like maybe straight or like falling back. So he's like semi walking forward. But he's really relying on this giant pen for stability. He's like really relying on it. His shoulder is up here. He's like hunched over. Earth says, have you tried Lasso Draw extensions? It's made by... Yeah, Lasso Draw is cool. Like, I don't know, man. I know some people are really good at that stuff. I'm still training up to it. There's something about lines that I just love. Like, I just love lines so much. Lines for me, necessary ingredient. It's like asking a Frenchman to cook without butter. It's like, you just can't do it. You can't ask that of them. All right, and we'll do this like kind of curtainy hair. And a long beard, and the beard is like maybe the same. It's like maybe it's the beard is like wrapped around this thing, right? And he's like, again, hunched. He's hunched over. Okay, for his support to be on it, it needs to be like parallel to the thing. Yeah, there we go. That feels better. Or he's like trying to draw, or he's like trying to write, but it's like the weight is on him. Pumpkin, ooh, love it. Ash says, and they definitely have tracks, mentorships online that are more cost effective, especially now. Yeah, for art education, totally. Totally. So we're just kind of doing a fresh idea now based off of scribbling. Scribbles, or maybe you see the line of scribble that he's come from. This somehow symbolizes like age and like everything they've written in their life. Right? All the way up to this moment where it's like nearing the end. Maybe it's like running out of ink. Oh, he's got a giant ink well on his back. But it's like running out. It's like barely at the bottom. Barely enough left for like a few more steps. Same rule here. We want him to be dependent on the pole. Has to be parallel to the pole. I'm going to feel that weight. Oh. Yeah, and again, I will answer any question in chat to the best of my abilities. And another quick reminder, if you guys are watching this back as a recording, don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. I stream 3 times a week, give or take, with some notice usually. I'm going to set up a channel in Instagram so that anyone who signs up to that channel will be notified of when I go live, or like an hour prior. So I'm going to set that up. If you guys want to be notified, go follow me on Instagram, or you're probably coming from Instagram, so who knows. But yeah, so definitely subscribe. You can hit notifications as well. Definitely like the video. If you guys are enjoying this or learning anything, that would be fantastic. You know, I'm trying to make these streams as accessible to people as possible, just for some good company, some good discussion, you know, breaking a lot of art stigmas. We are the art sigmas. Yeah, just figuring it out. For me, I have this love of giant bottles and like giant corks, but I feel like we need it to be like slung or something. Yeah, and thanks to everybody who's been sharing the streams and tuning in. It's been such a joy. It's really gotten me back in my rhythm and flow of my own kind of creative being. So very grateful for the opportunity to, you know, work with such good company in the chat, man. It's pretty darn epic. So yeah, his ink's running low. It's running low. Super low. Yeah, like a low amount of ink left in his poor old man pot of ink. His life is nearing its end. He's figuring it out. We'll do the classic kind of splayed leg look. Somebody who's, you know, under great weight, but still taking steps forward. We'll do nice kind of curves around his legs, so you can kind of see the oldness of his legs and his feet. It's kind of old, beaten up, shapely, wrinkled feet. Yeah, this page doesn't look very blank to me anymore, so mission accomplished. Smaller head. Patricia says, it could be he got that big pen from those big birds you've been drawing. Yeah, it was a gift from a giant bird. Like it's a quill. That's cool. That is cool, actually. It could be a giant quill. That could be beautiful. That could really like make the character, well, that could have themes, because if this character is embodying like, you know, cycles of life, it could be that like you get blown around by your feather, right? So let's say this is a giant feather. Gabriel Quill, old Gabe. Yeah, this is me when I'm like ancient. Nobody tell my girlfriend that I'm going to be an old guy wandering through a desert with a giant ink pot. She'll try and talk me out of it, and we can't have that, unfortunately. Somebody's got to wander through the desert, spreading knowledge and following an ink trail. It could almost be like a strange, made-up calligraphy or something, you know? But it could even be parts where like maybe you could see like where he got stuck. Like went all around, backtracked, and like there's a lot of metaphors here for sure. But we have like the kind of macro view, and the micro view is like a little character. Like the idea is like, you know, these characters with their ink pots. in their quill. It's like this giant feather. Maybe it's like one of those beautiful like pseudo peacock feathers, but like not actually, you know? Look at this. This is a sick idea. Who wrote scribbles in the chat? Iris wrote scribbles. I mean, I said it, but she wrote it, so. Tinks, Iris. Tinks. You guys remember Tumblr? You guys remember that? You remember that? We've also got people who are like giant feather. We've got people who are like have like a, you know, a round ink pot. Maybe they've got like a cool shweew feather, you know. Shweew. Got the classic maybe, or like maybe it's like an order of monks that goes around. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Scribbling is best inspiration. I think so. Even if the prompt literally is scribbling and you got to do a scribbling guy. But this is an old scribbler and his feather's all limp and decrepit. He's got an old feather. But yeah. Yeah. Abe said, did I get chat restricted? I don't think so. I did not chat restrict you. If your messages haven't been sending, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's just YouTube. I mean, it's not like a crazy viewed stream, so I would imagine that maybe it's not like, you know, super on it with that stuff. I would never chat restrict a chill homie. It's ridiculous. It's crazy talk. Oh, wait. So now we got to do a guy who's like, wait, this is actually fun. You got to do a guy who's like got like a cart. And the cart has like a giant corked bottle of ink, just ginormous. And it's like pulled by like a creature. And like riding on it is maybe like this weird character. It's like sits cross-legged in like a weird chair. And then he has like servants who scribble with pens everywhere he goes. Everyone scribbles. Maybe that's a whole thing of like everywhere you go, you leave your mark and you leave your name. And if you're like a wealthy person, then you like hire people to follow you and write out stuff. Right? Creature could be like a cool, what would it be? This is desert vibe, so I'm gonna go scarab. I want a big scarab. I've been talking about Egyptian mythology too a lot with my girlfriend, so I don't really know how scarabs look, so I'm just gonna do like a scarabesque creature. Pretend this is a scarab, or else. Pulled by a big old scarab. Now we gotta make it angled. Scarab's gotta be angled, right? I love Egyptian stuff too. We do love Egyptian stuff. giant bottle of ink. Or maybe it's like a guy. Maybe he's riding the scarab. He's got like a big hat, probably. These guys always have a big hat. People who ride scarabs and whatnot. He's got his little hand on his belly. I think he's a big guy, maybe. Yeah, and he has these people scribbling for him as he goes behind. And they dip. Oh, so we should flip the ink bottle then if they like have to dip back in, right? Imagine having a big scarab friend. Honestly, if I had a big scarab friend, a lot of my problems would be solved pretty instantaneously. Also, I don't know about you guys, but whenever I see a movie, we're just going to make all this smaller, by the way. That's how we're going to fit it all. Whenever I see a movie, and the movie is like an alien or like they discover something or like a mermaid or whatever, like there's always like the scientists want to capture and like run a bunch of experiments and stuff. I feel like, I don't know if people would actually be that quick to just like jump to be doing a bunch of experiments. You know? I feel like they'd give it a minute. I don't know. I feel like if like a giant creature, an alien came to Earth and I was like a scientist or whatever, my first thought wouldn't be like, I'm going to do experiments. That would not be my first thought. I don't think it'd be anyone's first thought, personally. There's actually an indie production for a romance series between a chef and a siren. It's beautiful. But I don't think you could ever trust a siren, like by definition. Unless... got ink. Beautiful ink pot. So like the lid maybe is a little smaller. So it can be like uncorked a little more easily. By these dudes who are scribbling and dipping their pens and following along behind and writing these things as they go. This is a cool idea. This is like reverse broom nose creature from Alice in Wonderland. Okay, here's another thing. When the broom-faced creature started chasing or like erasing the road, the path, like why didn't she run? Like she's like, oh no, I guess the road's just gone. He's sweeping up the road. Surely she could have kept up with it though. No? Or was it coming from the opposite direction? I don't even remember. I haven't seen Alice in Wonderland in a very long time. The Tea Party is just too unhinged for me. There's actually, you're right, but that's what makes it interesting. Yeah, true. That is what makes it interesting. Sirens cannot be trusted. I love the scene from Sinbad where they are like, you know, thwarted by sirens. It's a great scene. Like the woman and the dog have to save everybody. It's great. I'm going to make them all in these kind of cone outfits. Like I'm imagining they're all in robes, like following this strange guy. Maybe he's not a strange guy. Maybe he's a noble guy. Maybe this is like a clan. And he's standing nobly, like on this back of the scarab, like perfectly balanced. And anybody who walks by, he like tells them of the he beckons them to read, probably. That's his job. Wears a little hat too. He's got a cool hat. Yeah, look at that. It's almost like kind of Sufi core a little bit, which is sick. Love that. Little yawn moment. So what did we come up with? We came up with, well, that was fast. So, I don't know. I don't think being afraid of a blank page is very useful. I think conquering a blank page, it's like you don't do it with the skill. Like it's like the brain. Look at me using my big words. It's like the brain. Big yawn. I have to take a nap after this. So we are approaching. So we're at time. But is there any more questions in the chat from people about design, about anything we've worked on? Like, you know, we kind of roughly scribbled this out, but maybe we want to return back to our dragon and try and kind of put that to bed before we hop off. But we'll definitely pursue these ideas probably next time, right? I think I'll just do this page on the next stream. Or we'll see. But for now, we will return back to our dragon friend. All of a sudden, it's a little less interesting. Now I want to just draw dudes with pens in the desert. Giant feather pens. That's all I want to do right now. What have you done to me? I'm thinking this expression, we can see the squinty-eyed look that we're looking for from him. All right. Just in drawing mode right now a little bit. Sorry I'm not as talkative. A little bit of sleepiness mixed with drawing. Makes it kind of hard to talk. But that's okay. We're allowed once in a while. What I'm thinking from this guy, it's not feeling amazing. I will say that. Let's try and fix it. So planes of the face. This is one of the planes of the face. Yeah, big bulging eye. I'm going to draw it this side. All right, that feels better. Now let's redo whatever the hell's going on up here. So we have these shapes. We have this divot. We have the little eyebrow guys that have a little mind of their own, probably. I'll make the brush a little bit bigger for our little eyebrow friends. Going to take care. All right, Ayub, thanks for dropping in, man. Appreciate you dropping this stream, enjoying. Let's go. Cool. So we'll do a little bit of feathers exploding out from the sides. I feel like we need a little bit of that momentum. From the top. Yeah, this is feeling a little bit better. But we definitely, I think, are losing some of the central shape here. So like Cheek needs to start higher, maybe. Come in faster. Under. Then we'll do his little nose, because remember, it is supposed to be like facing us pretty much. Do very loose implication for nostril boys. You do like maybe he's turning his head a little bit. I feel like maybe he'd be looking. Maybe he's looking right at us. Made him a little cross-eyed there for a sec. And of course, we'll really fix this in the polish, right? We're just laying the foundation, but it's not feeling horrible. It's not feeling good either, though. Maybe we just do sleepy time dragon from the front. We figure that other stuff out later. Yeah, I like that. It's still not 100% right. Like the back jaw should be like back from like behind the eyes. Some that are still bothering me. Well, that feels a lot better now, actually. Even just that. Cool. Cool. His little eye reflections. Yeah, this is not feeling right. So honestly, we're just gonna nix it, baby. We're gonna come at it fresh. We don't want anything that's not fresh. We want things to feel shapy and fresh. We don't want to overwork stuff into oblivion. Sometimes it's good to figure out what's not working. Just let it be. Sick. It's like quiet stream now because I'm so focused. I'm making sure this looks pretty decent. All right, we make them a little mischievous here. That's what we do. All right, one eye is kind of not really where we want it to be, but that's okay. We'll fix it when we come back. Sick. Nice. So that one's kind of sneaky. Feels sneaky, so I agree with it. There it is. That's what we were looking for. It's heaps better than what we had before. My goodness. What we had before was a train wreck compared to this. Yeah, we'll fix that other eye, make everything look kind of ship-shape. Probably on the next episode. Still want things to be cute. Gotta make sure things are cute, right? All right, so for now we'll pause. We'll even pause on this expression. So we'll make this a new little guy. Cool. So, okay, we made some progress. We did a nice little fire breathing expression for our dragon friend. We also explored a couple options for what the other expression could be. We kind of locked away this for now. We're going to find a place for that on the page. And then we explored like new ideas. So we explored, we explored this whole idea where like these people spend their lives traveling and writing behind them. And this dude is writing a scarab, and he's got an ink pot with all these scribers and writers. And we have maybe more renowned scribesmen, traveling scribers or whatever, who have their big, beautiful signature feathers that, I don't know, maybe the lore is like you have to like make friends with like a giant bird or something. I don't know what the lore would be, but it would be pretty sick lore in my opinion. And the old guy is like just about the end of his life, like really just about the end, like tiny bit of ink left in his thing, and he's old and he's writing his final story, his last story. But this is a great session. I had a lot of fun, and thanks everybody who joined. We definitely did some fun little ideas here, and we'll definitely continue these ideas in the future. And so if you're watching on YouTube in the playback, thank you so much for making it to the end. If you're watching live, thanks for sticking around or making it in and stuff. And I'm definitely going to be doing this more, just continuing to improve, I hope. So every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, I think for the foreseeable future, I'll be pretty steady on this. So that's exciting. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe and like. And if you want to see the streams live, you can turn on notifications if you want. I want to be that, I don't think. And have an absolutely beautiful day, everybody. And peace out, guys.